Well, on the one hand, the British public is becoming more media literate all the time as they get used to using a greater variety of media and digital technologies. But I think what we're becoming more aware of is the gaps in the public's knowledge and the way in which school curricula and awareness raising campaigns are always a bit behind where they need to be to keep people knowing, especially having a critical and participatory competence in relation to the media. So there's been a lot of enthusiasm, but it's often patchy, and right now I think there are some real concerns that media studies in schools is becoming secondary, and the adult population once they've left school is not really being reached. So there are some big knowledge gaps opening up, and particularly some people who are more disadvantaged or vulnerable are really behind in terms of what they need to know to participate in a media landscape. Well, one of the difficulties with media literacy is how it's spread across different areas of government and different areas of the industry. So there are some high spots. The BBC, for example, takes its media literacy education responsibilities seriously, but the other broadcasters and other media segments don't really do very much. Our regulator, the Office of Communications, used to do more to promote media literacy, but budget cuts have meant that now they have a very strong platform in terms of research, but they don't do much to promote media literacy more widely than the research. In the government, there's been quite a lot of change in the education department, and so we once had a very, I think, proud tradition of media education in Britain, teaching media studies in secondary schools. Now that is really on the decline, and instead we are beginning to teach coding as part of a computer science curriculum. So coding, of course, is a good thing to teach, but we don't want it to take the place of media studies. I think children need both. I think the difficulty for teacher training is that teachers are trained at the start of their career, and that's good for many subjects, but the media landscape, the digital landscape changes so fast that it's really hard for teachers to keep up to date. And I think they lack, many of them lack competences of two kinds. One is really a thorough and critical knowledge of the nature of the media landscape, its complexities, the questions of ownership, where is the media power, what are the ways in which media messages are constructed. And on the other hand, they, I think, also lack confidence and new ideas in how to use digital technologies within the classroom. And ideally these would come together, that they would use digital technologies in the classroom as new interactive ways of teaching, and in the process that would raise issues and questions for the students that would allow the teachers to explain the nature of how the technologies work, what the industries are behind them, and what their position is as consumers but also as citizens. Media literacy is the ability to access, analyse, critique and create communication. I suppose there's a lot of government and industry motivation to get people to access different kinds of media and communication technologies, so I would rather put the emphasis on the analysis, the critiquing and the creating. And even among young people who are supposedly the most competent, I see some real lacks in terms of their abilities to both critique and to create, and too often they take a consumer role and a rather accepting and uncritical role of the messages in media, and don't see the importance of critiquing what are becoming some very subtle and complex messages. One message that I would particularly like to convey that I've really been thinking about is I think we often think about what are the benefits of media literacy, and I think we don't think enough about the costs. If we don't promote media literacy, what will consumers and citizens lack? What problems will they encounter? And I would like us all to give more attention to seeing really how many things can go wrong, how many misunderstandings can occur, how many forms of exploitation or detriment might result if we don't promote media literacy. And I think that might give a greater sense of urgency to the importance of promoting media literacy for all.